In Malaybalay, Bukidnon, two places stand quietly at the heart of its story: the Monastery of the Transfiguration and the Ereccion de Pueblo. One is a sanctuary of silence and prayer, the other, a monument to peace and unity. Though different in form, both reflect the soul of a people shaped in faith, dialogue, and deep connection to the land. Today, we explore these two powerful landmarks, each holding a unique piece of Malaybalay's history. First, we travel the historic site of the Ereccion de Pueblo, a monument that marks the birth of this vibrant community. The second is the Monastery of Transfiguration, a sacred place of reflection and spiritual renewal that continues to shape the lives of many. Malaybalay, a peaceful city nestled in the highlands of Bukidnon, carries a legacy rooted in unity, diplomacy, and respect for tradition. Central to this legacy is the Ereccion de Pueblo, a significant historical milestone that not only marked the formal establishment of Malaybalay as a pueblo, but also laid the foundation for the enduring values that continue to shape its people today. According to the data provided by the city's tourism office on June 15, 1877, by the banks of Sacop Spring, a remarkable assembly took place. Spanish colonial officials and indigenous tribal leaders gathered an atmosphere of peace, a rare occurrence during a time often characterized by conflict and colonial imposition. In this moment, diplomacy prevailed. Leading this historic dialogue were Don Jose Caliego Paras, Senior Colonel and Governor of the 2nd Civic Military District of Mindanao, and Father Mateo Bernad de San Miguel, a missionary from the Order of Descalzed Augustinians. They were met with dignity and resolve by prominent local chieftains including Dato Mampaalong, Sagulam Minlagin, Apang, and Bansag, guardians of their land and their people's voice. In the presence of 453 villagers, a mutual agreement was forged. It was not merely a ceremony of naming or colonization, but a conscious decision by both parties to pursue shared peace and cooperative governance. The settlement was officially recognized and given the name Oroqueta, a symbol of newfound alliance and political identity. This landmark agreement was formalized through a document known as the Ereccion de Pueblo. While to the untrained eye, it may appear as a fragile piece of parchment, its meaning transcends ink and paper. It represents a social contract, a foundational act that embedded values of respect, trust, and collaboration into the very soul of community. To deepen our understanding, we visited the Malaybalay City Tourism Office. Our initial approach began with a simple conversation. We spoke with a staff member to the front desk, asking if anyone could share insights or stories about the Ereccion de Pueblo. We were directed upstairs, hopeful for an interview or perhaps a recorded narrative, but instead, we were handed a folder. Inside were carefully preserved documents outlining the details of the historic event. It was clear the story was meant to be told not through voices, but through written memory. There were no recorded voices, no interviews, yet history spoke with clarity. The original Ereccion de Pueblo document, aged delicate but commanding, reminded us that the most enduring legacies often reside in silence. Today, the spirit of harmony envisioned by those leaders continues to resonate. In the rhythm of daily life, in classrooms, in homes, and in community gatherings, Balay upholds the ideas of fairness, inclusion, and shared responsibility that began at Sacob Spring nearly 150 years ago. This is more than a monument. It is a mirror of who we are and who we strive to become. This is Balay, born from peace, shaped by unity, and strengthened by the harmony that continues to guide its people. Located in the highlands of San Jose, Balay, where the air is cool and the silence sacred, stands a space built not solely from stone, but from a deep and enduring faith. That is the Monastery of the Transfiguration. Mr. Eduardo, the monastery's long-serving security guard, welcomed us with quiet sincerity.
Kasi mga sir ka na, parang balaan kayo siya simba. Sa iyo, storyan mo niyo.
Wala, yan yung sulim na dito na linaw kay dayuhon nila. O sa design po sa simbahan.
Story na.
Oo. Ang istorya ni ma'am, mabasa ang dito mo. Narito gisulat. Sa guest house. Narito mabasa niya.
When we asked who could speak the monastery's deeper meaning, he simply said, "Go to the guest house. That's where you'll find what you're looking for." In other words, he directed us not to an explanation, but to an experience. According to the primary historical paper posted in the guest house, the story of this monastery begins in 1895, when Benedictine monks from Montserrat, Spain, first arrived in the Philippines. In other words, their presence in the country marked the beginning of a long spiritual mission. Originally based in Surigao, they were forced to relocate due to war and upheaval. Eventually, they found sanctuary in Manila, founding what is now San Beda College, a lasting center of Catholic education and monastic tradition. This early history is significant. It reflects not only the monks' resilience during periods of colonial conflict, but also their role in shaping Philippine religious and educational landscapes. That is, the monastery's roots extend beyond prayer. They are also embedded in service, teaching, and community building. More than a building, the monastery became a living community, one that would quietly influence the lives of seekers, scholars, artists, and farmers alike. In short, it became a place where spiritual and cultural transformation happens side by side. This shift is crucial. In other words, it signified a broader vision for renewal, a way of living that draws people away from distraction and toward the essential of life, prayer, nature, and presence.